Lost my place. How about Brandon Dunce?
Yes, ma'am.
We're on the record in 2023 FG 41, State of Kansas versus Brandon Dean Dunce. Jared Regier for the state. Mr. Dunce appears in person and pro se. Mr. Dunce, you have one charge of violating the law concerning migratory birds. I do not see that charge very often. Specifically, the state is saying that on or about the 5th day of August, 2023 in Butler County, you did harass, harm, pursue, shoot, wound, kill, molest, trap, capture, collect, catch, possess, or otherwise take or attempt to engage in any such act, or buy, sell, or offer to sell by any means or in any manner a migratory bird as defined by the Federal Migratory Bird Treasury Act, 16 United States Code annotated 703 to 711, and regulations adopted there under, to wit, a red-tailed hawk. And further, you were not authorized or permitted to take such action under the Federal Migratory Bird Treaty Act, 16 U.S.C.A. 703 to 711. This is charged as a Class C non-person misdemeanor. Typically, a Class C non-person misdemeanor is punishable by up to 30 days in jail and a $500 fine. I have no idea, Mr. Dunce, if this is something that could be diverted. Is that something you want to look into?
Well, I'm kind of hoping just have to pay a small ticket, but what had happened was I was me and my daughter were out at Prairie Trails Golf Course playing around a golf, and I seen this little baby bird. I mean, he wasn't but maybe 8-9 inches tall. I mean, I could tell he was a hawk, and I honestly just didn't want to. I mean, I left it laying there, finished my hole, went and played a couple more holes and finished my round, and then I drove back around and it was still sitting there. I didn't see any other birds. I just didn't want to take a chance of another bobcat or coyote or cat or anything catching it. So I picked it up. I took it home. Apparently I shouldn't have, but I just was trying to save that little bird's life, in my opinion. But
Sure. I understand. Oh. Well, what happened to the bird? Did he go to some kind of shelter?
the wildlife park rangers that took it told me they were going to take it back and put it underneath that tree. So I'm guessing that's what happened. I don't quite understand that. I mean, they even told me I needed to file for a falcon license. Like, well, is there any way you guys can put this bird in its cage? I mean, I was holding it in my hand. I mean, I still had my golf glove on, and I asked them if they could keep it. I mean, I've got a 2-story house with multiple rooms. I've got a decent sized fenced in yard with a partial structure that all I had to really do was net in. And I mean, I could have filed for that and hopefully passed any inspection they required, but they told me no, they're going to take it back and put it underneath the tree. So hopefully the little bird survived. I mean, I just honestly thought it'd be cool to have a partial and teach my daughter a little humility, baby animal, take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I never meant that bird no harm. I mean, obviously you can tell my background, I'm an avid hunter, but I never meant that bird no harm.
Well, you said you want to just pay a fine.
Or just, I mean, I'm hoping I shouldn't have to. I honestly don't. The wildlife park ranger said they may not send me a court summons. I was hoping they wouldn't. Just a simple
Sure.
misunderstanding. Wouldn't quite aware of the protection treaty law, according to what this bird's saying, so, or paper's saying. I just was trying to save that little bird. I figured them taking it would have sufficed for that. But
Well, I understand your situation, and but I can just tell you what your rights are. You
I
can
understand.
you can look into the diversion. You've heard me say over and over what the process is. They would dismiss the charge if you were accepted and did what they said. Or you can plead not guilty and set it for trial. You can plead guilty and proceed with sentencing. You can plead no contest, which means you don't admit it, but you don't deny it. You'd still be found guilty, and we'd proceed with sentencing. You have the right to an attorney. You can hire an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed. So, do you have any questions about any of that?
What does it take to qualify for a court appointed?
Well, you pretty well, after you take away all your expenses, you have to be pretty much close to the poverty line as a setup by the sentencing guidelines. So, they take into consideration your family size, your income, your spouse's income, number of children you legally support, your rent, your utilities, your expenses.
Yeah. I'd probably try and look into that.
To an attorney?
To the diversion.
Oh, to the diversion? Okay.
Well,
Look,
yeah,
I'll tell you what.
I'll probably look at the diversion first.
Yeah. I'll
Just
set,
on my record, so I'm an avid hunter. I'd just assume.
sure. Well, that's a good point.
I'd rather not lose my hunting privileges over trying to save a little bird's life.
And I don't know, as a collateral matter, what a conviction for this would do to your hunting rights. I can't tell you that. The game warden could, or an attorney. But if you want to start out by looking into the diversion first, I will set this over.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but getting diversion would wipe it from my record,
It
correct?
would keep it off your record. It would not amount to a conviction. That is correct.
Okay.
All right.
That's hopefully what I'd like to have happen, because I'm just assume not lose my privileges.
Yeah, and I don't know that you would, but I couldn't say. Some will cost you and some won't. So
Okay.
July 17th at 9 a.m. is your next court date by Zoom. But as you've heard me tell others today, if you're diverted by then, you won't have to come back. But
Okay.
you first, when you leave this hearing, you need to go online and look at the diversion at bucoks.com.
Okay.
If you want diversion, get your contract or your application in, and then they will notify you if you're approved or not approved. If you're approved, they will give you a contract that you have to fill out and send back in with your fees.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So all of that should easily be done by July 17th.
Okay.
Okay. And then if you decide you want to fill out after that, if you don't want the diversion, if you want to apply for court-appointed attorney, you can contact the clerk of the district court and get an application for court-appointed attorney, or you can hire an attorney, or you can waive your attorney and represent yourself.
Sure.
All right. Any questions about any of that, sir?
I think I understand.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. Regier?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Very well then, Mr. Dunce, you may go.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you.